12 mind-blowing mind tricks to fool your friends. Number 12. Scary visions.
This trick can be a bit scary, so pick a friend who can take on this mind-blowing illusion.
In a dark room, have your friend stand about 20 inches away from a large mirror and hold a candle directly behind them. Have your friend gaze at their reflection in the mirror, and after a minute they will start to see their face become horribly distorted. Italian psychologist Giovanni Caputo set up this trick and tested it out on 50 people. 28% of those people saw images of an old woman, child, or ancestor in the mirror, and some people even saw animal faces like a cat, pig, or a lion. All 50 participants experienced some form of this dissociative identity effect, at least for some apparition of strange faces, and they often reported strong emotional responses like they were being watched, mostly attributed as a result of the brain failing to combine all the facial elements into a single image. Number 11. Mary's mother. Read this sentence correctly. Mary's mother had 4 children, April, May, June, and blank. If you replied with July, then you're wrong. The correct answer is Mary. National Geographic's Brain Games host Jason Silva says your brain is wired to be efficient and looks for a pattern in everything. Even though the answer lies at the beginning of the sentence, your brain automatically blurts out July because that's the next month that follows in that order. This mind trick showcases how your automatic or System 1 brain process works. This way also utilizes shortcuts as an attempt to save energy in the brain to do other tasks like running the body or keeping yourself alive. Number 10. Leg control. Have your friends sit down and tell them that with the power of your mind, you can monitor their leg, and anything they do with their arm, you will command their leg to do. First, tell them to raise their left foot and make clockwise circles with their leg. Now, tell them to make counterclockwise circles with their left arm. Now, bring the attention that their leg is now doing the same. Instruct your pal to get their leg going clockwise again with the left hand in a still motion. Then, tell them to draw a stick man in the air, and their foot will start drawing as well. When you are trying to do difficult multitasks with limbs on the same side of your body, the way your nerves get indications results in the natural dominance of your hands and arms over legs and feet. But your friend doesn't have to know the real reason why. Just make them think you're some sort of psychic or magician. Number 9. Money grab. Here's an easy game you can play with a friend. Hold out any dollar bill to your pal and have them place their index finger and thumb a few inches away from the bill, ready to grab it. Prepare to drop the bill. However, your friend isn't allowed to move their whole arm. They can only use their fingers. Then let go of the money. Your friend won't be able to catch the money no matter how hard they try, because it all has to do with mental processing speed and time. Everything you see happens 1/10 of a second before it records in the brain, which is the amount of time required to assess the information that comes in through the eyes and your senses. Besides watching the dollar bill drop, your brain also has to tell your fingers to move to catch the bill. So by the time this happens, the money is out of reach. So it's actually interesting to wonder how quickly our brains can function, but we tend to overestimate our reaction time. Number 8. Guess the object. This trick involves a bit of active deception, but what trick doesn't? This can easily be performed in a group of friends, and you will also need a volunteer to help you. You will choose ahead of time which item your friend will point to before whatever object your other friends pick. For example, this will be a black object. Any object that your friend points to after the black one will be the object selected by your audience of friends. You will start off by leaving the room, and your assistant will be the one left in the room. Go back to the room and tell your friends that you will need to have your assistant point to several objects. You will utilize your psychic abilities to figure out which object they have chosen. During this time, your volunteer will point to 3 or 4 objects, then to an object that is black, and then the real object. It's even better if you add some creative gestures to this. For each object, carefully inspect it, put your hands on it, and look through it as if you are concentrating. Then shake your head in disgust. For 1 or 2 objects, you can start to say yes, then put it back down. Engage your group of friends, and when you finally pick the correct object, your friends will be in shock. This trick is actually called the Gainesfield procedure and is used on the subject of parapsychology to test ESP. Number 7. Priming does the trick. Here's a little fun trick you can play on your friend that will be sure to bring loads of laughter. Ask your buddy what SHOP spells. They will say shop. Then immediately ask them what they do when you come to a green light. Their next answer will most likely be wrong because they'll say stop.
But obviously, when you come to a green light, you're going to go.
This is all part of priming, which is a memory effect that influences one response to another stimulus. Number 6. Pick a finger. Ask a friend to hold up their hand and to choose a finger in their mind without revealing it to you.
Then after a few seconds, gently push down each finger with your own fingers.
They will unconsciously resist when you try to push down the finger they have chosen and will counter the pressure. To make this trick a bit more convincing, you can also throw in some magic words for fun or some meaningless gestures like having them hold their palm on top of your forehead. This is to deflect from your actual technique of determination, and it works every time, leaving people to be amazed. Number 5. Memory chunking. For this ploy, you will prove that although most people won't be able to remember more than 5 or 9 letters, your friend will be able to remember 14. Ask your buddy to remember these letters: B, Z, T, and K. When you say the letters, say them at the rate of about 1 word per second, and lower your voice after the letter K. Your friend should be able to remember all of these, then D, J, R, N, Q, and P, which they might forget, then M, T, X, H, V, L, F, C, S, and V, which they definitely won't remember. Afterwards, stop and reflect on how they couldn't remember 10 letters, but now you're going to tell them that you're going to show them that they can remember 14. Finally, say FROG, BAT, PIG, DUCK, which they should remember since it spells out frog, bat, pig, and duck. This is all thanks to memory chunking, which allows us to expand memories past our brain limits by grouping the information between 5 to 9 items. Number 4. Hands free. If you and your friend are at the mall hanging out and you're carrying a load of bags that you want to pass off, here's a simple trick. Plus, this also works with any object, not just bags. All you have to do is continue talking to your friend in an engaging conversation, and during the time you guys are talking, hand them the item or bag. Most of the time, people will be distracted and will take the object automatically without thinking.
But sometimes during this trick, people will notice and just become confused.
Hey, nobody said it was foolproof, okay? Number 3. A timing trick. If you and your friend are in an elevator, then you can easily do this trick. Just be sure that you guys are alone while riding on this elevator, as it takes some time to do this. Press the button to any floor, and a few milliseconds later you'll hear a beep. Do this a few times and you will adjust to it, and the delay will become less apparent. Now, after adapting to the delay, remove the delay and press the button again, and the beep happens in an instant. But this time, the timing adjustment in your head will genuinely make you believe that beep happened before you press the button. This is because our minds like to adjust to timing errors and latency. Number 2. A sinking feeling. Alright, here's a trick that requires some physical work if you and your friend are up to the task. Have your pal lie down on their stomach with their arms stretched over their heads as if they're copying Superman in flight, but face down. Now have them close their eyes and tell them to keep their eyes closed the entire time. Then grab their waist and raise their upper body to a 45-degree angle, like in some strange assisted yoga position. Now hold them in that posture for about 2 minutes. Then very slowly and gently lower them back down until their arms are flat on the floor again. This produces the feeling of your body not stopping when it reaches the floor and begins to sink into the ground. The brain believes the body has leveled again before it really is on the ground, and interprets the continuous movement as moving past where it started. Number 1. The behavior shaping trick. This is a fun trick that you can do if you're out with a big group of friends. Tease one of your friends that you can trick them to do whatever it is you want without giving them any directions or instructions. Now you train them to do a task, but keep in mind that this should involve something silly and clean, so nothing X-rated. So decide ahead of time and have a prop ready, like a hat, pen, or umbrella. But whatever you choose, make sure it's sitting casually nearby so it doesn't raise suspicion. Now pick a friend to participate in the trick and ask them to step outside of the room for a moment. When they leave, explain to the rest of your friends what you will have them do, like riding a bicycle across the room. They will do this by clapping as that person gets closer to each desired step in a sequence. First, your pal will have to look at the bicycle, then they will have to walk over to it, and so on until they actually ride the bike. Your group of friends should look at you so you can cue them when to start and stop clapping. After your friend performs the feat, the clapping should stop and should not start again until the next higher level in the act is reached. They may need a little guidance at first, but only use hand gestures if the clapping doesn't work. Eventually, your friend will realize what you want them to do and will perform the behavior much to everyone's amusement. This is all thanks to the principle of shaping created by B.F. Skinner.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.